I'd like to call this Policy and Governance Standing Committee to order. We'll start our meeting with a territorial acknowledgement and the singing of a
We would like to acknowledge
We would like to acknowledge
that the land on which we gather here today
was used by the Haudenosaunee,
Anishinaabe and Neutral people.
We also acknowledge the enduring presence
and deep traditional knowledge
les lois et les philosophies traditionnelles
Of the indigenous people
with whom we share this land today.
with whom we share this land today.
with whom we share this land today.
Thank you very much. I was wondering if I could get a motion to approve the agenda. Trustee Weston, seconded by Trustee Radlin. All in favor? Unanimous. First up, I just wanted to make a quick announcement that we have regrets from Committee Chair Esta Westa, and she was unable to attend. I get to be here today. You're welcome. If there's any other announcements, any declarations of pecuniary interests? There appears to be no delegations, so we can move right along to our first report. On folio 1, we have a recommendation for the standing committee to approve changes to board policy 6013, education on substance abuse and addictive behaviors. The recommended changes include changing the title and a refocus and alignment with the mental health and addiction strategic plan. We've done some consultation already and we have talked about it as a working group. I was wondering if there is someone to move that recommendation. Trustee Weston, seconder. Trustee Whitcock. Is there any questions, comments? Terrific, then I guess we can vote on this. All in favor? And that's unanimous. Perfect. That was quick. Moving on to our next policy is board policy 2004 on folio 8. The policy working group had discussed that this policy be rescinded. The policy names character, education, and social emotional skills development. As we were reviewing this, the language is out of date and not really applicable anymore. It's covered in a number of other plans that are listed in your package. If I could get someone to bring that motion forward, the recommendation. Trustee Radlin, seconded. Trustee Weston. Any questions or comments? Trustee Radlin.
Thank you, through you, Chair. I noticed we have some staff in the room and I'm just wondering, it was the feeling of the committee that the 6 strategic directions covered, no, not the 6, the learner profile covered what was usually covered in character education. So I'm just wondering if we could have a staff perspective on that. I know we have amended the policy, but I'd be interested to hear if that our thinking is thinking that is supported, or if our thinking is thinking that's questionable.
Through the chair, I'll ask Superintendent Hume to speak to character education and subsequent work that's.
Through the chair to the trustee. A lot of the work is covered in, every school has a code of conduct. So every school will be working both with the code of conduct that the school has, as well as in most schools, there's a SLIP focus around equity and building belonging spaces. In fact, in every school, there will be a SLIP focus around equity and building belonging spaces. So that kind of character education is happening in all those spaces.
Any follow-up, Justin?
And what about aspects such as that we, in terms of how do I put it? I guess my question is it just subsumed then into equity, empathy, school climate? What was character education is now covered by school climate. Is that what I'm kind of hearing you say?
Through the chair, to respond to the trustee, I can share earlier when you asked about the learner profiles, there is some substantial overlap between what is listed in the character education and the qualities that are listed in the learner profiles for the board currently. The learner profile for the board asks that we ensure that students, when they graduate, are confident, creative, curious, inclusive, change makers, attentive to relationships, empathetic, and community oriented. And then on the website, each of those is broken down into some sub-competencies. And so as a result, there is significant overlap with what was in character education, where they are also asked to have empathy and to demonstrate initiative and respect and integrity. In addition, student codes of conduct would also cover a lot of these items in the same way. And so there would be student code of conduct and would offer some substantial overlap as well.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Terrific. And vote, all in favor? All right, moving right along. On folio 12, we have our new anti-racism policy that has been presented. It's gone through a great deal of consultation over a long period of time now. We've discussed it as a working group prior to this meeting, and we've come to the recommendation that we would like to recommend approval of this new policy titled anti-racism. Is there someone who would be willing to move that recommendation? Trustee Woodcock, seconded. Trustee Weston. Is there any questions or comments about this? Trustee Weston?
Just a comment to thank staff for all the consultation and work that went into this over the number of years. This has been, I know a lot of time and effort has gone into it, and I appreciate all the community feedback we've received, and many thanks to everyone who provided input on this policy. I know it's been a lot of work, and I think it's in a good spot right now, so I'm happy to vote for this when the time comes.
Trustee Radlin?
I would like to add to Trustee Weston's comment. It's very comprehensive. I appreciate the definitions, because very often people use language and they don't know what they're saying as they speak. And so I think that is a really important addition and piece of it. And I also appreciate there was some back and forth where the committee, thought that certain certain oppressions should not be identified or identified. And I appreciated the kind of clarity in terms of what kind of, I don't want to use the word label, but why certain kinds of behaviors need to be defined rather than referred to generally. So again, my appreciation, because it's very clear that a lot of work has gone into this. And I look forward to its passing and application.
Do you have any other questions? And before we vote, I'd just like to second what trustee Weston and trustee Radlin had said, and thank staff for all their work on this. It's been a long process, but I think it's very thorough and appreciate all the work that you've done and all the time you've put into it. So with that, we'd like to vote. All in favor? And that's unanimous. There's no board reports, so we can move right along to question period. Any questions? Oh, trustee Radlin, thank you.
To the chair, I know I did not submit a question, but I'm looking at the anti-racism policy. And you know, there was a lot of consultation and input and feedback and reflection and so on. And I guess my question of staff is, do you anticipate, or what do you think, or is there anything that you think is going to provoke, I don't know how to say this, but have we covered it all? What kind of questions or challenges do we anticipate, or don't we? Is that an appropriate question? I'm not sure.
Through the chairs through the chair to the committee, what I'll ask is our human rights and equity advisor Deepa Amawali is here today, who and with the steering committee led much of that committee consultation. So I will ask that Deepa respond to those questions, and then as others in the room too, if there's further questions or follow-ups, we can all add support with some feedback.
Thank you to the chair for the question. I think we can always anticipate some pushback when we're trying to forward human rights equity work. That includes anti-racism work. I think having that in mind, we try to be very thoughtful and thorough in how we approached the writing of a policy like this, wanting to make sure that we did thorough consultation, that we made sure that we documented and recorded how we considered each of those pieces of feedback that we received. We took our time with the policy writing and review. We made sure that there was a legal review as well. A lawyer also reviewed the policy to make sure that it was not in contradicting any other legislation that is out there that we need to be following and supporting. So I think that you know, despite any challenges that may come to a policy around a topic like this, I think we've done a really good job in trying to ensure that we've been trying to follow that in the development and review of the policy.
Thank you. I appreciate that response, because trustees have started to receive you know, racist emails in terms of grade 11 literature curriculum and school naming and so on. It is an election year. And so it's good to know that we are prepared to answer this. Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Perfect. Can I get a motion then to rise and reconvene for our working group? Trustee Woodcock, seconded by trustee Weston. All in favor? Terrific.